Welcome to the Passive House podcast, brought to you by Passive House Accelerator, a catalyst for zero carbon building. For news, inspiration, and connections from all flavours of Passive House, check out passivehouseaccelerator.com. Sign up to receive regular updates about events, get your questions answered, and contribute to the community dialogue. There's loads of free information for experienced professionals and people just starting out on their Passive House journey. We hope to see you at one of our weekly Passive House Accelerator live webinars. In the meantime, here's this week's Passive House podcast. Welcome back to the Passive House podcast. I'm Matthew Cutler-Welsh, coming to you from Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland in New Zealand.
And I'm Zach Semke, coming to you from Seattle, Washington.
How you doing, Zach?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. We've got a special components episode this week. We haven't done a component episode for a little while.
Yeah.
And I'm pleased to have Adam White back on the show.
Yeah, me too. Adam is the CEO and founder of Intelligent Membranes, and they make a suite of products centered around their Passive Purple membranes. And we just had a great conversation. They're in the midst of we're just finishing up now a rebrand. So we got to hear about that, and then just also some of the cool work that they're doing, including in the sort of educational and training realm. It was fun.
Yeah. Well, let's get straight into it because, like you said, Adam is a busy man and he's got a lot of stuff going on, and it's not just about their great product range, but also some really cool stuff they're doing in the training space and working around the world really on helping people to improve buildings. So let's have a listen to your chat with Adam White.
So I have Adam White, the founder and CEO of Intelligent Membranes, the maker of Passive Purple, here rejoining us on the Passive House podcast. Welcome back, Adam.
Thanks for having me. It's been a while, although
it
it's
has
gone
been
in a flash.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm looking forward to hearing about that. What's been going on for you? Why don't we start with first of all, for folks who haven't heard it yet, there's a great episode from last year where Adam and I talked about Intelligent Membranes and Passive Purple, and also a whole bunch of the other cool things that Adam has going on. So we'll share a link in show notes. But I thought that we could start today by just giving folks a overview of the product line, and also I think you have some exciting news around the branding of that. So why don't you dive in?
Right, so I'll do a quick deep dive, or I say mini dive into our product range. So we do liquid applied membranes, so VOC-free, water-based, eco products for Passive House Net Zero, but most importantly for all the markets, so any form of construction. So although we have our aspirations of Passive House, I think we all do, we love it, I've got it behind the bar, but we go on every form of construction, so we need to start from the bottom before we get to the top. We do airtight membranes, we do facade membranes, we do waterproof membranes, we do bathroom waterproofing, we do spray window protection, we do natural latex biodegradable protection, we do fire protection with our product called Fred, we do asbestos protection, we do contact adhesive, we do window tapes and membranes, a whole host of products. If you can think it, I'll try and make it, and I'll try and make it into a funky colour at that if I get a chance as well. Because we're excited about this, and we're actually got an exciting new rebrand coming in. So me and Alex, the other co-founder of Intelligent Membranes, we've always had the slogan as the Net Zero Heroes. So now we've transformed that onto our product range. Now each product has its own Net Zero Hero, which is kind of like a DC Marvels comic.
Nice.
But these characters are walking, talking, not like them. I don't want to get sued or anything, but
Right.
these are our own trademarks. But these are the net zero heroes, and hopefully we can get a lot more engagement from people out there just to try and get into the net zero passive house world. As you know, from having the brewery and having the bar, anything we can do to get people interested into net zero, because we're all built differently. Some people like it, some people not so much, but there's always a way. So
Yeah, and you mentioned the bar. You're sitting in the bar, which is the world's most airtight bar, I understand.
airtight bar in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Panning around.
Yeah.
And I think it, I mean, it makes so much sense that you guys are making this move in branding. You've both you and Alex have always been on the kind of leading edge of marketing in our space, and I are always making a big yeah, that's right, a big impact at the Passive House events that we all are at. And so that I think that for folks who know you, they'll be like, all right, cool. What are these characters? So tell me more about, like, what are these heroes?
So these heroes
who are these heroes? I should say.
Who are these heroes? Yeah. They represent what the products they are. I mean, the goat is obviously the goat. He's this big green character. He's half goat, half stag. The greatest of all time, because that's how we believe our product is. Our roofing membrane, the goat, and then. Same with, they've got Passive Purple, the original stag. He's coming in strong. They're just slightly different. Then we've got Soteria for our asbestos, our lady. You've just got to wait and see the videos. I don't want to give too much.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Although this would have launched, but I want people to go and see the videos of it. And this is fully interactive characters as well. So we've got the whole hog. Yeah,
so we'll share links and show notes for this episode, because we are going to coincide the release of this with the release of the new branding work that you've been doing, and that, which is just around the corner. It's exciting that the timing is working out the way it is. So how about any new products? I know you're constantly dreaming up stuff. What's new for you guys since we last spoke?
Since we last spoke, we're probably the airtight tapes, the fleece membranes.
Right.
We do a lot of that now, because that goes hand in hand with the window guys for airtightness. Because they're fleece backed, they can take our Passive Purple on top of them. So when you're sealing around the windows, if you use a fleece membrane, you can always touch up anything with the liquid applied membranes. Because we always say, if you're going to do window taping, although I would love every installer to be perfect on a window, but it's like wrapping Christmas presents. You do 1, perfect. 2, we get to 10.
Right.
It might not be the best it could be. And you could only be talking about small gaps, but you always got a chance to seal it over with Passive Purple afterwards. But they're very popular. It's not just for windows. We do them for substrates where it goes from a timber frame to steel work, or any material change in a larger gap sometimes. There's that. The goat remade, relaunched to a new, stronger product that's currently going for its ETA, so Europe's highest roofing membrane certification, and then some others in the UAE as well, because we're designed for hot countries. So Alex, bless him, I've been having him out there. We've been doing all our trials in 48-degree heat.
Oh, man.
And the reason why, and a lot of people say, well, why don't you just wait to the winter? You have to do it in the worst case scenario for us to see what the products act like. And that's why we were out there dying. So, no, it's good.
Man, that's intense.
We've got contact adhesive now as well. So if there's any membrane interactions with products that we need to have that extra adhesion to, we've got contact adhesives now. Fred is getting tested every month on something new. So we've done it against timber frame. We have testing on foam now, spray foam insulation with Fred. So just protects the product, because when you've got foam, it'll be the smoke that kills you in a fire, not the actual fire itself. So we're there to protect all that foam on a building. Because spray foam is a good product. It's good for thermal insulation. It's not the most eco, but for pound for cost, it's not too bad. What else is there? Passive purple external. It's just fine tuning all the products that we have.
Yeah.
And just thinking, actually, we could have a variant of this. There is different variants of our products as well. So if someone needs something more vapor open, we can make something more vapor open. We're quite lucky because we're the manufacturer as well. We can change things around. And then our bathroom waterproofing, Poseidon, sailed through all our American testing, ASTM testing that we had done. So that's amazing. So that's flooding.
Yeah, congrats. Yeah.
I won't say who our competitor is. So it's a bathroom waterproofing.
Speaking of competitors, and not that we need to speak specifically about them, but if folks are thinking about Intelligent Membranes products and Passive Purple, and considering them for their projects, and then looking at comparable products by competitors, what sets you apart from those other products?
You have to take each product that we have in isolation to make the differences between. But if you say like Passive Purple, I think Passive Purple is the most tested airtight membrane in the world right now, for every single country we're in. When we're looking at an easy one, 5 classifications, a lot of competitors or so-called competitors are Class E fire. So they burn like hell. To put it bluntly, we're Class C and B, so we're right down. We're fine. Whereas they're Class C, but you get a level of service with us. We're not just a product supplier. We love to go into the technical. We have lots of technical drawings. We have 3D drawings. We work with contractors. We work from people all around the world. So we've seen near enough every situation. If you've got some drawings, we can say, oh, actually, look, we've done a project like this before, and this is what the solution is. So that's what I'd say. We're not just a product supplier. We're part of the family. When you use us on a project, and we actually give people a level of protection when we're on a project. So if we're on a passive house scheme and we've gone in and we do it all purple, we actually go back randomly as well to check on the project to make sure that it's still airtight, other trades haven't damaged it, and we do reporting as well. So we do check up on these sites. Even if we just sell to the site, we will check up on the sites as well. So we will speak to the main contractors and say, look, we've sold a lot to you. Can we come in and check? And then we do them a full report. But we can pick up on other items as well for them. So it gives them a level of safety because they know airtightness at the end of the project. It has bust so many people because although I love Passive House, you love Passive House, and there's a whole light industry around it, and everything's happy, and we all love it. It's a very, very dangerous game to be in if you don't understand it, and I think that's caught a lot of people in the industry. It definitely has. A lot of people think they can come in and pretend to know Passive House. People do a couple of day training course on a Passive House course, and they think they're tradespeople, and they get a whole world of shock when they go and step out into a Passive House building. I've been doing this now a long time, about 10 years in Passive House, but in the building industry about 27 now. Yeah. And I don't know it. I couldn't on Passive House. I couldn't call myself a proper tradesperson. I just don't know it all. There's just so much going on. There's so many different things. I'm a Passive House learner at best, because something new will be coming out next week, and that makes me a learner because I didn't know it. So,
Yeah, no, well put. And you're sharing that learning too on your YouTube explainers, which is good.
yeah,
Which is great to
we're
see.
doing that, and we're actually quite lucky that this week I was, when it airs, it'll be a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
I was just awarded. I designed a course and training facility for Waltham Forest College in London. So
nice.
I've designed a building called the Not So Perfect House, where we're going to go in, we're going to build this building, we're going to use different types of windows, so single glazed windows, double glazed windows, triple glazed passive house, fitted wrong, triple glazed passive house windows fitted right, and then I'm going to make loads of little mistakes on the build, things with insulation,
Awesome.
things with cavities. I'm going to really, really make it hard for the students, and they've got to go in, they've got to find these problems. So we've got thermal imaging cameras, we've got air testing equipment, we've got different types of heat recovery system, we've got decentralized heat recovery system going in, so you can turn one system off and listen to the other system and just compare and just see how it feels to be in these passive house buildings. So that's really exciting. Actually, that's probably my most exciting news. Although I've got my rebrand, but that to be awarded that was amazing for the college to actually go. Actually, we like your ideas. We like your training facility in Cambridge, and can we replicate that in London somehow? And that's what we've done. So we've got
That
building,
that
training.
is so cool, right? So people will be able to then be like really hands on.
It's really hands-on.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah,
going to go in and just grab something and say, look, this is this. What I mean, even like, how do you make a passive house floor? There's so many different varieties, but you can't show anyone. A lot, not on the training course. You can show someone on the slide, but
yeah,
people want to see it on hands-on. So we've got
yeah.
little bays with all these floor build-ups in. Twin wall. What's a twin wall? How does the ventilation go through a twin wall? Mind blown. You've got to be able to see it and do it, and then the students actually have to build their own not so perfect little house. So they get to pick their wall build ups, whatever they're doing, timber frame, light gauge steel. I'm excluding no one. So with
Mm-hmm.
all
Mm-hmm.
different forms of technology, they can pick it. They can build this little 3x3 building, little two-story thing with a roof on, and see how they do it, flat roof, pitched, however they want. We're going to give them loads of different designs to choose from, and then they get to see how hard it is, which
Yeah.
is very hard. And then as they're doing this as well, someone might be going in. Well, it'll be the tutors who are going to go and make things wrong from what they've built. So because it's not just as easy as fitting a window in a building, an opening that's right. So they will go in and they will make it smaller and just
That's
seal it
awesome.
all up. So we're really going to really put these students to test.
That is so cool. So when will that be constructed?
So we start next month. We start in end of September.
Uh-huh.
I'm hoping to be complete around about January time.
That's so cool.
So
Are you gonna you'll document it? Like will you have some video worked around it, or?
Yeah, so the whole thing's going to be documented.
Yeah.
We're going to get the students involved in building it as well. As you know, I'm very hands-on vocal, so I really want to get the students involved. I really want to show them what construction is actually like. Really excited. It will be all documented by them, and then at the end of it, we have 4 training courses that we're going to be doing for there. So it'll be MMC, Modern Methods of Construction. So that's one training course. We're going to have a retrofit training course. We've got air testing and ventilation and things. It's just another thing to add on to, say, if they've done a passive house tradesperson course, they would then come to me or come to Waltham Forest College and do a proper hands-on.
Go deeper. Yeah, with
go
hands-on.
deeper.
Yeah.
But they are only a passive house learner.
Right.
That is it. They do not get a tradesperson after it. They're just a learner.
Right.
Until they go out into the world.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, that's a great vision, and I'm really excited to see it develop, and That's awesome, man. Good work. Good work.
Yeah,
So you've mentioned Dubai and North America and obviously the UK and Europe. So where are your products available around the world? And I guess for listeners, we have a lot of listeners in North America and Europe and New Zealand and Australia, for example. How do people get their hands on
So
your
if
stuff?
we're starting all the way over to LA, we've got a great distributor there called Passive House Supply. We've been working with them now for 2-3 years, building up training and stuff. So now they're fully open, functional. They've got all our products. So they're in quite a few states now. We have product in New York. We have product in Canada. It's just go on the website. We've got a brand new American-Canadian website as well that's available now.
Nice.
For you to go on, and you'll find your distributors there. So go on, make a wish list. It'll go out, and we'll come back to you, or your rep in that area will come back to you with the products that they can supply you, which will be everything. So
right. Okay. Cool. And we'll include a link in show notes for folks to make that easy to find. I'm sure it's easy to navigate to, but super, super, super easy. How about that project you just described in London is educational project is incredible. What about some cool building projects that have used Passive Purple in recently?
I mean, we go on a lot of cool buildings.
Yeah.
And they're not always, like, we've got one that's like 130 million pound building. It's like 1,000 square meters each floor, and there's like 5 floors. It's huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Wow.
What's 1,000 square? So 10,000 square foot each floor.
Right.
That was impressive, just because there's bowling alleys and things.
That's cool. Where is that?
That was in Essex.
That
was in Essex, yeah. And then just some small quirky ones that you go into, and they've got statues that you have to walk. The owner walks up to, and it face scans his face. That's some of the cooler ones.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm trying to think, because obviously we're the first ones in, so I get to see the funkiness of some of the underside of it. But
right. What's behind the curtain?
But I'll be honest, I enjoy looking at the retrofit market as well, and looking at the housing stock. That's a pretty cool industry to be in, because the housing stock in the UK and in the States is actually quite diabolical.
Yeah.
And to go on some of these projects and to try and get your head around how we're gonna retrofit airtightness, ventilation, because without ventilation, all of us fail. So all other products are out the window unless you can put your finger on that ventilation to start with the retrofit market, or any building really. So that's interesting, because you could have a street and there's 4 different types of housing that you've got to try and make it work, and they're all different quirkiness. There's no real ones that stand out, other than we do like Oxford, Rubens College. We done that last year. All the underground hidden basements. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and we there's some detail about. Isn't that where the Magna Carta is?
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I mean, to think that you're walking through Oxford and there's all these thousands of square meter basements underneath you, and you'd never know. It's just madness.
Yeah.
Madness. We've got quite a few with NDAs, so I'm not allowed to tell you where they are.
Right.
But then predominantly, I know it sounds like they go on expensive builds, but predominantly it's a lot of affordable housing that we go on. Yeah, retrofit.
Yeah.
So they're the ones I actually like doing, if I'm honest with you, because then I know the person moving into the house is actually getting a good job and can afford to live in that house. It's nice to do the expensive ones, but sometimes people want things because they're shiny and new.
Right.
Well, we know the for affordable housing, people are actually going to really appreciate it. They probably won't put it to Passive Purple because they won't see it, but they'll feel it in their pocket.
Right. Yeah, right. That's satisfying. Definitely.
Yeah. And then obviously going to Dubai and doing stuff on their roofs, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Some exciting projects on there as well. So
what an adventure. It's pretty amazing. So I know you have all sorts of different ventures going on. You have your all sorts of like irons in the fire. So with I think you talked about a window company the last time we spoke, and timber frame company. What about it? What's going on in those arenas of your life?
So yeah, the timber frame, they're the guys that are going to do my training facility for me. So we do mainly bespoke things for the timber frame. Anything bespoke, anything that catches my fancy. I think the last time we spoke, we done West Midlands Safari, so where they go and stay with the rhinos and elephants and giraffes. So I was a big main contractor on that. So you can go in, stay overnight and say hello to the giraffes in the morning and the rhinos. That's pretty cool. Just quirky jobs that we do that come in for the clients that want to build passive house. Mm-hmm. It's predominantly passive house eco builds that we build. And we still do a lot for the Forestry Commission or Forest Holidays. And we do a lot of cabins all around the UK for them. To keep that going. I just run around picking up these jobs and then my team have to deliver it, to be honest with you. So I just think of the ideas. They're the ones that actually pull the hard graft in.
It's quite a team. It's so fun to see what you and Alex are creating out in the world and moving the ball forward in so many ways in this net zero passive house space. So I think we're fortunate that you're doing the work.
It's been a hard graft. It has been a hard graft. I know we always make it look like it's all sunshine and lollipops.
Right.
As well, Zach, is passive house has been a hard graft getting people to convert. And like I say, with the bar and the other stuff that we do, you have to try new ways and new tricks to get people interested into it as well. So hopefully that's coming through more and more now in the world as well. So
no, I definitely right. What we've all chosen to bite off and chew is it's not easy. It's important, and I do think that there's some momentum building, but it's certainly not for the faint of heart.
It's going to be a very interesting industry in the next 5 years.
Yeah,
we've got a lot of challenges. I don't want to sound like I'm Mr. Doom and Gloom on it, but I know America's the same. We've got a staffing crisis. Mm-hmm. We haven't got new blood coming in. We've got a lot of people retiring. We need to engage into young people. We need to make them interested in what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because what I find interesting in Passive House, I know a lot of the lads that work for me, they don't care. What I care about. So if I said to my lads, a U value of a window, I don't care, mate. Just give me the materials and show me how to fit the window, and I'll fit it better than you, which they can do. They'll fit it better than me all day long. That's what they care about. You give them the drawings, make them fit it. They don't care about U values and G values and all of that sort of stuff. But people are built different, and I think that is a big struggle that I think the passive house industry has been in over the last 5 years, understanding that there is two types of people: hands-on people.
Right.
And people that love
geeks.
To get it. And geeks. When I've done my passive house course, they introduced it as this is a course for nerds, basically.
Yeah.
He at that time said them words. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a builder, so I wouldn't class myself, but
right.
If we can break that and get more people hands-on and loving what they do, I think we'll smash it a bit more.
Right, because there's that other really important pathway to passive house and building science and better buildings is craft. It's pride and craft. So like I can fit it better. I'll fit it better. Just let me do it.
That's it. There's a lot of people that can talk about it. There's a lot of people that can talk about these details, but if you ask them to install it,
Yeah.
they
Right.
would fall down straight away. So
Right.
without a happy balance, at the minute, personally, I think it's unbalanced.
Hmm.
But I know there's a lot of people in the industry that's pushing forward, and hopefully we can level up a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Well, that seems like a great kind of exclamation mark for this conversation. Is there anything else you want to add before we close up?
Just watch this space. We'll be at the Build show. Matt Risen's lot will be there.
Yeah, they're the big trade show they've got going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've just
Nice.
sort of stand out for there. So I'm not going to let anyone else outshine me on that. So we've got a few ideas. So
Awesome.
watch out for that show. And then, we've just got some other bits and pieces. But yeah, just watch this space. And like always, if you ever need anything, reach out to us. We're always happy to help. There is a big team behind me, which I owe a lot of my success to because they're in the background with me. So yeah, we're always
Awesome.
here.
Yeah, great. Well, Adam, thank you. And thank you to Intelligent Membranes for the sustaining support to Passive House Accelerator. Really means a ton to us. So we appreciate the partnership and the help.
And that was Adam White, who is co-founder of Intelligent Membranes, based in the UK, but they are available around the world, as Adam points out, in lots of countries now. And do check out some of the great videos that they have directly on the Intelligent Membranes website. And as I did, you might find yourself on YouTube checking out their Net Zero Heroes trailer as well, which is a bit of fun. Really cool stuff. I really enjoyed. I've got a few notes here, Zach, but was there anything that kind of jumped out at you from your conversation?
Well, it was fun to have this conversation, and then more recently to have the Adam join us for a component spotlight event as well. So I want to let people know that there's a great, if you want to kind of get some visuals as well and dive deeper into their Passive Purple external product in particular, check out the video of the component spotlight that we had with Adam recently, including a very exciting demonstration with a blowtorch. So
right,
some pyrotechnics going on, which was great.
Right. Well, and Adam mentioned fire a few times, and obviously putting membranes into buildings can be a bit of a concern around fire. And he mentioned about foam. I quite like Adam's philosophy on building products in general and building systems. They make a big point at Intelligent Membranes about being able to be used on almost any construction type, from standard timber frames through to even lightweight steel. He mentions, which kind of implies to me that they want to assist any type of building to be able to perform better, and that includes things like blown-in foam, which he acknowledged, is not has some environmental considerations, but it also performs really well. So these are the types of sort of trade-offs that designers are making about thinking about ongoing performance versus upfront carbon and energy, and just environmental performance. But Intelligent Membranes aims to work with all products. And one of the things that Adam mentioned at the beginning of the conversation was what they really help do is join products together. And that's the tricky part of buildings, is all the connections, particularly when you're connecting a metal to masonry or timber to insulation or a plasterboard or something like that. When you've got completely different materials, different properties, different surfaces, that's where things like all the products that Intelligent Membranes have really come into their own, because you're trying to make a continuous control layer over a very varied layer of different materials with different properties, and that's how they really help designers, but also the people on the ground. And I was really pleased to hear Adam also acknowledge the craft and the skill of tradespeople, builders, people who install windows, and that's where the performance really matters. He made the point that it's all well and good us designers kind of sitting in a room drawing complicated drawings of how things should go together in cross section, but in the real world in 3D, that can actually be quite tricky, and I'd probably mess it up if I had to do that.
I know I would.
So it's great that Adam's putting some effort into creating some hands-on training facilities. That's really exciting.
Yeah, that was really cool. That to sort of emulate the imperfections of the real world in the training materials.
Yeah, cool. And also to set it up so that students have to find those and you don't point them out, because that's reality as well. If you're particularly in a retrofit situation, or if you're doing a renovation, you're having to go and see what's going on and try and find what's not working, kind of diagnose it, and then figure out how you're going to solve that issue. That's a much more realistic situation than having perfectly straight lines and everything all matching up nice and neatly.
Indeed.
So really great stuff. Intelligent membranes, hard to think that they've only been around for 10 years. Seems like they've always been there, really.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And there's such an extensive range of products and systems that they've got. It's pretty amazing. So definitely check out that live. We'll put a link to that, and also just check out their own videos on their own Intelligent Membranes website.
Right, and the Net Zero Hero trailer will definitely include a link to that so that people can see the rollout of that new branding that they've done.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks to Adam and for their support of the Accelerator as well, and all the great work they're doing all over the place, really. All right. Well, this was a special bonus episode with the Component Spotlight. So thanks for joining us. We'll be back again with our regular episode later this week. Thanks for tuning in to the Passive House podcast.